Hey, what's up, guys? It is Jin Yuki coming at you with a new deck profile here today. And today we have Cosmic Heroes, the deck that actually requires you to play dice.
+4?
Yes. So basically, this deck is a bunch of robots that are Transformer knockoffs. But let's get into the deck profile. So, as you can see, starter, Cosmic Hero Grand Hop. Grand Hop has the ability of you rest him, choose one of your vanguards, give it plus 4k, and if it is 35 or more, you put him into soul, you countercharge one and draw one, which is really, really good. So, moving on to the grade 3s, you run the 4 Cosmic Hero Grand Gallop, or Great Cosmic Hero Grand Gallop. Main grade 3, obviously, when your G unit strides, you give your vanguard plus 4k, and when it hits, you counterblast to draw a card. GB2 skill, I think when it attacks, if it's 22 or greater, it gets drive +1, which is actually pretty good because most of the time you'll get it up to like 26 and it'll be like a stride, but whatever. Backup grade 3, Cosmic Hero Grand Mantle. Until the new Grand Gallop comes out in We Are Trinity Dragon, this is your backup grade 3. You can call him to rear. You counterblast 1, and I think, yeah, that's it. If your Vanguard's power is 15 or greater, which it always will basically because you're going to stride, he gains 4k and your Vanguard gains plus 4k.
If your Vanguard
is over 35. So that is it for the grade 3s. Moving on to the grade 2s. Grade 2s, you're going to run 4 Cosmic Hero Grand Volver. You're a robot version of the McCree from Overwatch. Basically, you counterblast 1 if your Vanguard's attack is 15 or greater. He gives 4k to himself, and then I think just like any other unit in the front row. Just one of your other rear guards, and then when his attack hits, you countercharge 2, which is really, really good.
And resist!
And it has resist, which is awesome.
It's also not a GB skill, so if you want to go early game rush.
Great card. Next, for Cosmic Hero Grand Rifter. I've been thinking about playing 3 of him and 4 Cosmic Hero Grand Sub. The only reason being because Grand Rifter is your Glimmer Breath copy, and Grand Sub actually has a really good effect, one-turn effect. When his attack is increased, if his attack power is 13, which it basically always will because he'll be gaining 4k, which goes to 13, your Vanguard gains plus 4k, and when its attack hits, you kill a rear guard, which is really good. I think you kill a rear guard. Your opponent kills one of his or her rear guards, which is really, really good because that doesn't apply to resist. Next, grade 1s. You run this 4 Stride Father, nothing to say there. Here's something I'm trying: 4 Grand Vickle and the 2 Grand Lady. I have been playing around with these numbers, and I've found that having more Grand Lady is probably the better option. So if you want, like, take one of him out and replace it with a Grand Lady, or do the opposite ratio. Also, another really good one to play is Cosmic Hero Grand Chopper. He's basically like a dumbed down version of Grand Sub. So yeah, you can mess with those ratios however you want, but that's it. Oh, sorry. And then the 4 PG. You're probably going to want the 4 unflipping PG because of the fact that this deck does counterblast a lot. So having an unflipping PG is probably the best option. But he's SP. And he has a skill of Burst. You Soul Blast 1 when he's placed on rear. If your Vanguard's attack is, I think, 3k. Or no, 35k. I'm sorry. 35k or more, he gains 4k, and then you bounce him to the hand at the end of the turn, which is really good because if you really have nothing to like boost your Vanguard, he's a great card because all it costs is a Soul Blast, which isn't that bad in this deck, and then you can bounce him to the hand.
I mean, it's a Soul Blast for a 10k boost, you return the hand, so it's
right.
Like it's Bermuda?
It's pretty dope. Critical triggers, I run 6. I run the 2 Grand Beat and then the 2 Justice Gold. Grand Beat, he's your put in the soul, then you give your Vanguard plus 5.
Heart Thump Clone.
Yeah, Heart Thump Clone, basically. Then I run the 6 stand triggers, run the 4 Operator Girl Reika, and then the 2 Cosmic Hero Grand Scold. Reika, probably best Dimension Police stand trigger ever, because basically you put her back in the deck, choose one of your Vanguards, it gains 4k, and when it attacks a Vanguard, so it does not have to hit, you draw a card, which is really, really good. Him, backup, you put him into Soul, you give your Vanguard plus 4k, and if it's 3k or over, which if you stride, it will always be over 3k, you give it another 4k. So it essentially gives your Vanguard plus 8,000 power.
You mean over 30?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then 4 heal triggers, Cosmic Hero Grand Rescue. Next, moving on to the Stride Zone. Main stride of the deck, you're going to be running the 4 Cosmic Hero Grand Gallop. Grand Gallop, really, really good card. He counterblast 1, GB2, you G-flip anything, and then he gets drive +1, and then I believe if he's 40 or over, all your rear guards get plus 4K for each copy of him in the G zone. So first time you go into him, you flip a copy over of himself. Second time you go into him, depends on how many cards your opponent has in your hand or in their hand. If they have like hardly any cards in their hand, like 4 or 5 cards, then definitely flip over a copy of himself again, because you're essentially going to give your entire front row plus 12K power or plus 12K power, which is really good, really good. But then if your opponent, like if you know that you're not going to win this turn, just go into 1 copy of him and then flip something else, because then the next turn you can go for that explosive play and have 12K to your front row. Next, I run the 2 X Tiger. Definitely want to try to get one more of this guy. He has a skill that is G-flip anything. He gains 4,000 for each card in each face-up card in the G zone if his attack is 45. Or no, he gains 4,000 for every in the G zone, and then if his attack is 45 or greater, you gain 1 crit, which is really, really good.
So basically, if they don't die to X Gallop, this is your finisher.
Yeah, if this guy does not kill him, this guy sure as hell will kill him.
This guy should usually always kill when you go for the last copy, because the way that I envision you're supposed to play is you go for him 3 times, and then if they don't die X Tiger, they give you X Tiger, like, oh hey, if they didn't die to that, well here's this.
Yeah. Basically, there's been times where I've gotten this guy up to like 60K, 70K, probably one time I got him up to 80K, which is really, really good. So that is it for him. And then the 2 X Phoenix, because he's a great first stride. Basically, if counterblast 1, when he attacks, if his attack was over 35 and the attack did not hit, then you draw a card. So basically, the main combo that you're going to want to do is with Grand Gallop, because Grand Gallop's skill, when you stride, gets plus 4K, and if the attack hits, you counterblast 1 to draw. This guy says if the attack does not hit, you counterblast 1 to draw. So either way, you're going to draw a card with him. So that's really, really good. Moving on to the next one, run the X Falcon, X Rogue, Omega, Enigma, and Crossray. I only run these because they're like flip fodder for like X Gallop and X Tiger. I don't think I've ever gone into these 3.
That should be an X Tiger.
This really should be an X Tiger, so if you guys want to switch that out for an X Tiger, go right ahead. But he's like if for Rush, if you really want that.
Explain what Falcon does, because Falcon's a weird card that sometimes could have a really niche effect.
Right. So basically, Falcon is a really cheesy card. You counterblast 1, choose a card from your hand, and discard it. When his attack hits a Vanguard, if his attack is 45 or greater, take one of your opponent's rear guards, place it face down in their damage zone. So this card could, essentially, it could OTK, basically. Or not OTK, but, you can literally just kill your opponent by attack. If it's over 45, if your opponent's at, like, say, 5 damage, they lose. I don't know. That's just a really cheesy card. So if you ever have the option to, like, fully use this guy, just totally go for it. It'll be so cheesy. Then G-Guards is the 3X Caribou and then the 1 Enigma and Patriot. Caribou has a skill that when he's placed on guard, you discard a card from your hand, your Vanguard gains plus 4K, and then he gains 10K shield. So basically...
Screw you, but better.
Screw you, but better. So that is it for this deck profile. This deck is really not that meta right now. Grand Gallop will be getting another G3 in We Are Trinity Dragon, and I think they're getting just like another Stride, so that'll be really cool. But this deck is super fun to play because it's just super explosive and super just like really, just really aggressive, and you really just kill your opponent by getting really high numbers with this guy, with X Tiger, and just your rear guards. So yeah, that is it for this deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And this is Jaden Yuki and King Pengu signing out. Later.